They have the majority, but it is tight, and every single one of these House seats does have certain implication. And we're going to talk about that and what we're seeing with this transition in the balance of power. So join me now to discuss all these things is KFI radio host, later with Mo Kelly host. Mo Kelly. Mo, thanks for being back on the show, man.
Always good to see you.
Always good to see you too. Happy Monday. Great to kick it off with you. And let's talk now, right there, we're talking about the balance of power. Republicans have their 218, but as you see these races that are still coming down, talk about the implications of what they mean to the control of House and beyond.
If anything, I think the bad news of the last 4 years with Kevin McCarthy and how I would say the Republicans mismanaged that speakership, I think Mike Johnson is in a much better position. He's much more stable in that position. And the Republicans are in a better position as a party to do whatever they want legislatively. So even though it's going to be a slim margin, it's not going to present the same problems as before.
It's one of the narrowest majorities we've ever seen. We have to make that point, especially because, as you say, last time that became a problem. Johnson is better situated, exactly as you say, but every time Trump says, you know what, I like Matt Gaetz for Attorney General, he's plucking a Republican from that majority. Got to be a special election. Maybe he gets replaced by a Republican. But this is one of the things he's got to think about, the balance of power.
Does he have to think about it? Because if anything, he has demonstrated that he's going to plow forward with his loyalists and his agenda, regardless and irrespective of how it may impact the Republican Party. And he's making it very clear with, like, the Senate. He's saying, hey, I want my recess appointments. He's not going to be any different with the House. And even though he'll be plucking these people and putting them in these certain positions, President-elect Trump is moving full speed ahead.
He sure is, and he's picking these folks that have a lot of people's eyebrows raising for various reasons, depending on the pick. Take your pick. I mean, we could talk about Brendan Carr with the FCC. That's one of the most recent ones, one of the contributors to Project 2025.
Or Kevin Roberts as well. So, you know, Project 2025 is littered, my word, all across his appointments for all the discussion about him having no connection, no knowledge, no consideration of Project 25. It's prominently featured.
And that's one of the things we have to talk about, especially because with Brendan Carr in particular, he's been an outspoken proponent, advocate, supporter of Elon Musk. And he's done this in many different ways. He's wrote a letter to the Brazilian government saying, you know, X should be reinstated. He's talked about Starlink, the satellite company, having its satellites lower. FCC could be a part of that. I mean, talk about what that means with Elon Musk being so close to Trump and some of the other
But beyond that, I've also known of Brendan Carr as someone who was supposed to rein in big tech. How are you going to rein in big tech when you have the most prominent supporters of Donald Trump being big tech from Mark Zuckerberg on down? That's where I'm not exactly sure how this is going to play out. I think it's going to play out well for Elon Musk individually, but technology more generally, I'm not exactly sure.
You're making a great point. And we should say it's not under the FCC's auspices to be able to rein in big tech in a general sense. It's just about communications, but Congress can legislate to give that power. Let's talk about Elon Musk, though, because I think a lot of people saw some of these photos from the weekend. We've heard the reports about Elon being all over Trump, Mar-a-Lago, all these things, but then we saw it also at UFC. You got to take a look. You got to laugh, and I'm not sure, you know, some folks are laughing, some folks are not, but right here, I mean, here's Trump walking down, and if you look over his shoulder, there's Elon in his dark MAGA mode. And there's some other folks with him, too. This was this weekend, and there was also other stuff to talk about. Mo, what is your take on what we're seeing here with Trump at UFC?
This great intersection of big tech, celebrity, politics, entertainment, all these lines are gone now. It's just one big amalgamation of stuff. We can't say shut up and dribble. We can't say shut up and code or anything like that. All of this is melded together, but it also highlights how, once again, our politics is more an extension of celebrity than it is policy.
Yeah, and also an extension of Detroit rock there with Kid Rock and Jelly Roll Country. I mean, did you ever expect to see, by the way, a lot of former Democrats in that, at least two I see, and two there. It's interesting, too, right? Because a lot of people saying it's an interesting moment when you look at the nucleus of the Republican Party, the folks that are populating it, Tulsi Gabbard, RFK Jr., Donald Trump, all of whom have been Democrats at some point.
And I also think it's emblematic of wanting the proximity to power. You have the UFC, which historically has represented a very different demographic of those who are connected to political power. Now it's much more accessible, at least visually, than ever before.
Yeah, and you have the pick for the HHS secretary. Also, there's a photo of him on the plane eating McDonald's with Trump and Elon Musk. Maybe I guess it's time to have a Big Mac or something.
Yeah, that was an endorsement I don't know if McDonald's was looking for or expecting, but they'll take it nonetheless.
I think they'll take it, and it'll be interesting if people want to point to that photo when it comes to those confirmation hearings. Just because, you know, let's talk about the health and human services of McDonald's. It's a very interesting concept. It's delicious. Great to see you, man.
Great to see
as
you.
always. Mo Kelly. You can hear more of that later with Mo Kelly on KFI 640. This man chops up every topic imaginable and does it with insight, pith, and wit. Thanks, Mo.